Welcome to the Manna Mental Health Soul Science Podcast, a sanctuary for healers, helpers, intuitives, empaths, caregivers, and other helper identities, tender-hearted souls navigating deep life transitions. I'm Tawnya, a trauma-informed licensed therapist, integrative guide, and sacred space holder. Here, we explore the healing intersection of neuroscience and soul care, the kind of deep, slow wisdom that holds room for nervous system restoration, spiritual resilience, and the quiet beauty found in both brokenness and becoming. Please, come in just as you are. Let's walk this path slowly, gently, together. In this episode of Soul Science, we are going to talk about soul food for the window of tolerance. So, in Exodus 16, the Israelites received manna, which was heaven-sent provision that fell with the morning dew. It wasn't flashy. It certainly wasn't something that they could stockpile. We don't even know if it tasted good, but it was just enough. It sustained them. They couldn't gather more than a day's share, or it would rot, except on the 6th day, when they were allowed to gather a double portion so that they could rest on the Sabbath. So manna is like a divine per diem, just enough strength, clarity, and grace to cover today's expenses. And hence the name of my private practice, Manna Mental Health. So, manna, again, like a daily share, just what you need, not for next week, not for next year, just for today's emotional, spiritual, and energetic budget. Just for today's emotional health budget. And it's designed that way on purpose. So, we live in a world obsessed with planning, consuming, future-proofing, but God seems more interested in our daily dependence than our long-term control. Psychologically, so when we try to store up, worrying about the future, ruminating on the past, we create mental overload. So the mind gets anxious when it tries to process too much at once. It's like gathering more manna than we can use. It spoils into stress, burnout, fear. So there's a term in trauma recovery and neuropsychology called the window of tolerance. And this window of tolerance is the amount of stress we can handle before we shut down or become overwhelmed. So God, in his wisdom, gives us manna-sized grace and manna-sized peace that is just enough for the day. And in many ways, manna is a pretty good metaphor for mental health. At least I think so. Because mental wellness doesn't come often in breakthroughs or big harvests. It comes in daily portions. One good night of sleep, one safe conversation, one moment of regulation when your anxiety spikes, one small yes to rest instead of overextension. Matthew 6:11. Give us this day our daily bread. Not weekly bread, not quarterly bread or annual bread, daily bread. Because if we had all the answers, we wouldn't need God daily. So, what manna has God given you today? Spiritually, emotionally, relationally? And can you rest in the sufficiency of today's provision? That is the manna that I'm thinking about today.